Hello and welcome to Irish Ears at Disney Fancast. On the pod, we aim to be your Irish viewpoint on Disney news, with a heavy focus on our second home, Disneyland Paris. This is probably going to be a shorter episode than normal, no promises, but we wanted to jump on and review the last few weeks while previewing an upcoming exciting weekend. I think the people know who we are by now, right? Megan is an Instagrammer and TikToker at Megan Loves Magic from Belfast and a Minnie Mouse incarnate, although she's not dead.
Stuart is a Facebooker and Instagrammer from Dublin. He's at Disneyland Paris Tips for Irish and is a little bit excited for his upcoming trip.
Yes, I am very excited. So we'll just come straight into the news, and as we record this on Monday the 10th July, first we're going to go across the pond to July 4th, America. I watched this through various Instagrams, and I know that they had in. So just go to Florida first. I didn't see anything about Disneyland Resort California. Did you see any
To be fair, I
celebrations?
haven't looked particularly hard. I've seen a lot of characters in cute costumes, but I'm guessing they were all Walt Disney World.
Mm. It's mad. I
But
just maybe think Florida is more like America than California at the moment.
I get that impression. I get
Yeah,
that impression.
probably get more assault rifles in Florida than you would in California. Um,
100%.
so they have two. Walt Disney World has two Magic Kingdom fireworks celebrations, where they basically do the main 4th of July fireworks on the 3rd of July and the 4th of July, and then they do 4th of July fireworks in Epcot on the 4th of July. So if you're there for the weekend, you can catch Magic Kingdom on the 3rd for anyone going next year, and then Epcot on the 4th. So apparently it's incredible. And they had, like, of course, military flyover and all that, but fair play to them.
Oh, they pure love their independence, don't they?
They do. They're fighting for it every day against, I don't know who they're fighting against, each other probably.
Each
But it looks
other,
really
yeah.
good. And like people are always asking me about, like obviously Disney being an American company, what does Paris do for 4th of July? And they do nothing because it's nothing to do with them.
Nothing.
Nothing. And people ask me as well about Thanksgiving in November. And again,
Mm.
nothing. Like, I don't know if you might get a bit of gravy in the Lucky Nugget or something. But that's the
I
extent
guess
of it, really.
Paris like celebrate their own French holidays though. They do the Bastille Day and they do some of the kind of UK Ireland holidays like St Patrick's Day. They do kind of a soft St Patrick's Day.
Well, I think Paddy's Day is like the second biggest holiday at Disneyland Paris. Like, name another holiday that gets a little pre-show fireworks display before like Dreams Illuminations.
Halloween, Christmas.
Paddy's Day. But you have to remember though, the Irish, well, like, obviously we kind of made Halloween for what it is. Apart from the harvest
Mm,
business that the Americans get up to. But yeah, so I think that Disneyland Paris loves Ireland. Anyway, we'll get back to that later on.
I think they do.
They do. Official.
Yeah.
I'll let you explain to us what was going on with the Oogie Boogie tickets. And so start from the start, like, first, what is the Oogie Boogie Bash in Disneyland Resort, California?
Okay, so Oogie Boogie Bash is the ticketed after hours event that they hold in Disney's California Adventure. There are lots and lots of parties. It's not like the old Disneyland Paris ones where they only had two on. These ones there's about 20 dates this year throughout September and October. The tickets went on sale last week. It was a bit of a mess, to put it politely. I went last year and I found the ticket buying process last year was so much more straightforward than it was this year. I was sitting with my multiple devices open and ready last week. I had three different devices open, all of them sitting in this pre queue, was moved into the real queue, and all of them said, you've got more than an hour to wait, which is fine because last year we were in the line for like 2.5 hours. So it was okay. But then all three of the desktops paused. It said that the queue has been paused, tickets are no longer being sold. But me being me, I also had Twitter open on another window, and I was seeing people saying that they were still able to get tickets, even though all my windows were saying that the entire queue had paused. So I'd messaged someone in the DMs really, really fast and was like, "Here, how did you manage to get these tickets when all the queues are paused?" And they were like, "Open another window, like close down one of the ones you
Ah,
have, open another one." And I was like, "No, I don't want to do that in case I'm kicked out of the queue." But I did it, and it took me straight through to the payment window.
There you go.
and I was able to dive in and snap up tickets. We were so lucky because just after we did that, Disney shut the whole thing down because there was clearly some kind of massive glitch in the system that meant most people couldn't buy tickets. There were a couple like myself who had managed to like get in there a bit slippery and get some, but they shut the whole thing down and basically said, we will update you in a week and let you know what's happening. So it was a bit of a mess. So as of today, the 10th of July, the second batch of tickets are going on sale tomorrow. And Disneyland Resort confirmed that none of the dates have sold out yet. That's how few tickets were sold in the first
Wow.
release, because these things normally go on the day. Like as soon as they're released, they're sold out. So that says it all of how many people actually managed to get tickets. But to everyone trying to get tickets tomorrow, good luck. They've had a week to improve things. Hopefully there will be no more system glitches. I hope everyone gets the tickets they want for the dates they want, because that was very, very stressful. It was like buying something. It was like a DLP ticketed event. It was that style of mayhem.
Well, thoughts and prayers to the people who are trying to get Oogie Boogie tickets and Taylor Swift tickets tomorrow. They're going to need
Oh my
about
gosh.
20 computers open in front of them.
I hadn't even considered that there might be people trying to do those two things on the same day.
Yeah. Oh,
Good luck, everyone.
Maybe it's like a Venn diagram, a very small section intersects the two groups, maybe. I don't know. Do you reckon many people from, like, obviously from UK and Ireland, would they go over to California for that?
I think more so now. I think like a couple of years ago, I would have said no. But I feel like I've noticed this since the parks reopened after the pandemic. A lot of people who used to be diehard Walt Disney World fans who have just seen Walt Disney World getting scaled back, scaled back, scaled back. And there seems to be so much more investment now into Disneyland Resort. They are really getting all the good new stuff at the moment with their Avengers Campus opening. They've constantly got new stuff, new rides, new shows, new celebrations. They're going really hard for Disney 100. So I think it's kind of having its little moment in the spotlight. It used to be like a locals only, not locals only, but a very heavy local focused park. But now I'm definitely seeing, even on my own Instagram, I'm seeing lots more people booking Disneyland Resort over Walt Disney World at the minute, which is quite exciting to see.
Yeah,
I
I think
do
it's
know
cool.
quite a
Like,
few.
I'll
A lot of my
probably
Disneyland Paris friends are coming to California this year.
like whenever I get a chance to live my life again after having children, I'll probably skip over to California before I go to Florida. Now it's going to be hard, like to get like, I don't know. I'm thinking like a 10-year-old and a 6-year-old all the way to California. They might be easier going to Florida, so I might take the bullet on that one. But yeah, like the California park, it's obviously hemmed in. It can't expand anymore. You know, it's totally covered in. And like, it's funny. I always think that whenever I'm watching YouTubes of Disneyland Resort California, like the Disneyland Hotel, we're all conditioned in around the Paris bubble to think that Disneyland Hotel in Paris is, you know, a 5-star, the Pink Hotel, the Castle Hotel, like whatever everyone wants to call it. But like the Disneyland Hotel in California doesn't look special at all, does it? It obviously has a monorail and it's walking distance to the parks,
Yeah.
but it's quite modest looking.
It's modest looking on the outside, but on the inside Fantasy Tower, they've got 3 towers. They've got Adventure Tower, Fantasy Tower, and Frontier. And inside Fantasy Tower, they've got some absolutely amazing displays of old Disney parks memorabilia. They had a name tag that was given to Walt Disney on one
Cool.
of like the first year of the park being open. They've got loads of like really cool things like that, but like looking at it on the outside, it's not really that special looking, and it's actually not their number one hotel. Their like most expensive, most grand. The Grand Californian is their big one, which is
Yeah,
different to
it looks like
Paris.
it was just like built in a car park, and then just build a motel in the car park. But that's the whole charm of Disneyland, isn't it? It was Walt
That's
Park.
kind of what happened.
Yeah,
That's pretty much what happened. That's how those hotels ended up
we should
coming to
definitely get a
life.
monorail. We should get a monorail in Paris. That'd be incredible, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, I'm here for a
Imagine if they
Paris
linked all
monorail.
the hotels. They could start it in Davy Crockett's and then link all the hotels. That'd be incredible. Oh
Self-drive or
man,
monorail.
Natasha. But So moving on from Oogie Boogie, I have a bit of news, and it might not be of interest to you, but I am absolutely bet into this Secret Invasion series on Disney Plus at the moment. It's a new Marvel series, and
Hmm.
I don't know if anyone's listening or anyone cares about Captain Marvel movie that came out, I think, in 2009. It was 2000, not 2019. Holy God, I just missed 10 years of my life.
The
So
Carol movie?
the Carol movie, Princess Carol, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So in that movie, they introduced squirrels, and squirrels are these shape-shifting aliens, blah blah. But anyway, so Secret Invasion is. I won't spoil too much here. Just give you the. I assume everyone's seen. Who cares about spoilers? Has seen Captain Marvel. So they're shape-shifting aliens, and they can take on the how anyone looks in the world. So think of the possibilities. Think of the possibilities.
Mm.
And it's all about Nick Fury. But the great news was that, and this is exciting for Paris too, is that they had a Skrull sighting in Avengers Campus in Disneyland Resort in California. So they had a guy
Ooh.
dressed up as a Skrull, and he wasn't even doing meet and greet. He wasn't even doing like he was in the background. So it was like as if they wanted people to like long lens him and kind of
Yeah.
like, so it was a secret. So it ties totally into the Marvel show. And if anyone's watching that, I hope you enjoy it because it's episode 3 last week. So there's only 3 more left. It's a 6-episode season, and I think it's great. If you loved Civil War and Winter Soldier, those type of movies, you'll like Secret Invasion. It's done to that kind of style. But enough of my geeking out about Marvel movies, and we'll go.
I'm going to keep an eye out, though, now that you've said that. When I go to California in September, I'm going to have my eyes
Oh, they're so
peeled
on the ball. They're
for
just so on the ball with
for these little hidden characters.
like only maybe once or twice
I'll
has
send
Paris
pics.
gotten like opening day characters or some content in the parks to do with, like, obviously we went to town on Guardians, but
Mm.
like they could just slip. Now I know
They don't
it's
really get them for
easy.
long either.
No, I don't know what it is. It's just obviously behind the scenes, backstage stuff going on or whatever. But like, I'm always here's me in my kitchen thinking, how hard is it, guys? How hard is it? But imagine the logistics of like the makeup and all sorts, and just like who knows? Who knows? Like Paris has turned the corner,
But we've got
and
Mantis.
we got
We've got
Mantis, yeah,
Mantis now for the summer.
and they had unbelievable casting for Mantis. I love that. That was incredible. Um, and
Oh, she's
she's just
perfect. She's
she's
great.
bopping along there to with Star Lord and Gamora. Gamora doesn't never looks happy to be to be there, but she's hanging out. Do you know what's
No.
funny? Like the MCU in the movies. I'm not going to go off too long here, so people don't fall asleep. The MCU in the movies is meant to be a completely different universe than the Parks Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's kind of the
Okay.
Marvel Parks universe. So obviously, when you had Black Panther and you had Shuri and things like that, like the characters, when you talk to them, they can kind of not talk about what's happened in a movie that came out last week if it's something huge, spoilerish, or say if
Mm.
someone dies, etc. You might want to know why a
Yeah.
certain character who's clearly died in a movie is suddenly prancing around Disneyland Paris Avengers Campus, And I even seen some people saying, "Oh, getting all nitpicky about like there being like a Guardians of the Galaxy logo and a Marvel Studios logo visible in the campus." That kind of breaks, you know, I don't know. It's very nitpicky, isn't it? Like people need to
I don't
grow
think
up a
I'm
little
like
bit.
enough of a Marvel fan to really care.
I
I
know,
don't
but
think
I'm
I'm
a
a big
huge
enough
Marvel
fan to
fan, but I
care about
wouldn't care
things like
either.
that. I
Like,
wouldn't even notice it.
I think it's the people who are not huge Marvel fans, but are not mini Marvel fans that just want to kind of pick up on things and give out about things. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I love the place. I'm all for it. All for it. So the news that was, that's good news really, was that in the last few weeks, the strikes are on hold at Disneyland Paris, and they're having scheduled talks in August. These talks are not what the union wanted. They wanted talks as probably like end of May, June,
Hmm.
and they said they will continue with the strikes in September if necessary. So hopefully it's not needed. I mean, hopefully Disneyland Paris comes to its senses. They're having a great few weeks in the parks with all these premieres, exclusives, launches, etc.
Yeah.
And they clearly need, like, Disneyland Paris's financial books have been opened in the last few weeks by journalists, etc. One particularly from Forbes called Caroline Reed. She did pretty much an expose on how Disneyland Paris is paying a lot of IP and a lot of royalties back to Burbank, California, the headquarters, which means that there's not a lot of money left for the cast members in Paris. Now, obviously, if you're having intellectual property, like if you have Mickey Mouse and all the movies and all the princesses, you can send money back to the headquarters to write off against tax, etc. But I just think that's a really crappy way of treating your cast members if you know there's millions going back.
Yeah, I guess they didn't want that kind of information released. But didn't Natasha say in her video, the kind of ill-timed, ill-advised video, that they
Be
weren't going to
careful.
engage in
Yeah.
talks because there are, or didn't want to engage in talks at that time because there are talks scheduled for August already. So now these August ones are coming along. I
Yeah.
feel like they're going to
Thick and
have to come
fast.
to the table.
Yeah.
And also, I just want to say, while we're on the topic, don't want to worry people who are going in September. I've had a lot of people on my TikTok recently commenting on my videos saying, since this news came out that the strikes could continue into September, a lot of people panicking about their trips. I think it's way too early to be panicking about a September trip at this point because we don't know what August holds yet, and we won't know what that holds until August. And there's just no point worrying about something that you can't control as well. Just keep kind of a light ear to what's going on in the talks and things, but don't be losing sleep over strikes on your trip just yet. Give them
Yeah.
a
It
chance
wasn't.
to sort things out.
They weren't targeting September and like threatening people in September. They were just saying that we're going to pause it for July and August, and the next month is September. So it wasn't meant to
Yeah.
make people worry about September. Like they're going to have, it's the last month of the anniversary. Then they have Halloween month. It's all huge as far as bringing people in. So the cast members just want to get on with their job and they want to get paid properly. So it's all in the courts of the senior management at Disneyland Paris to sort this out, really. I don't think what they're asking for is crazy,
No,
for what they do.
it's not
Particularly
crazy
when
at
you
all.
look at, like, obviously in Ireland, we're used to like high inflation and things costing a bomb. But inflation has been crazy in Paris. Like, so,
Hmm.
I mean, you're talking like, trying to buy your Cuisine de France for a fiver
I
or whatever.
know.
So this is the most exciting news I feel since Avengers Campus, and it's Together, the new
Yes.
show. My hype machine in my head has orbited, has left the atmosphere, and every single little piece of content that anybody releases to do with whether it be the premiere or whether it be little snippets of the show, like it just looks incredible. I'm trying not to spoil it for myself. I'm trying not to spoil it for my followers either by not sharing much. But like it's 10 out of 10 on the hype train for me.
Yeah, I've watched a tiny bit of it. I've seen a couple of videos that DLP Report shared on Twitter this morning, but I stopped myself because I don't want to see too much. I want to wait until I can see it fully in person by myself. But I was really following the premiere the other night. It looked absolutely incredible. And seeing Lotso at Disneyland Paris sent me into orbit and back again. Like, he's a character I've always wanted to see in person. And now that he's in Paris, I need to get back.
Do you reckon he smells like strawberries at the
I hope
premiere?
so.
Do
I hope
you reckon
so.
does he have some sort of aftershave? Like put strawberry aftershave on or
We
something?
strawberry spits before he comes out.
Yeah, yeah. It just like he walks through a mist of strawberryness.
Well, he's coming
Um,
to the Oogie Boogie Bash this year, so I will let you
oh,
know if he does smell like
you
strawberries
you
because I will
you
be on his tail chasing him
you
around the place.
give him a good sniff. Yeah, that's it.
That won't get me kicked out at all.
Well, you could do worse. But like literally every character that we saw on was it a blue carpet? Every character
Hmm.
we saw um is in the show. Like I thought they were just gonna like gather the characters that they already have kind of regularly out in Paris and just throw them onto a stage. But they've gone to town. Like
Hmm.
it's all the rare Pixar characters that we rarely see, obviously, maybe at Pride and things like that. And um I don't
I
want to
like the
spoil things,
monsters,
but
the monsters from
like
Monsters Inc. that aren't like Mike and Sully, like ones that aren't like main characters. So
yeah,
cool to see
Needleman.
them. Needleman, yeah.
Sanderson, like
Yes.
all the lads. Is Boo in it as well? I'd be
I'm
very
not
surprised if
sure.
she wasn't, because
And
actually they wheeled her out about 2 weeks ago in our last pod for our trusted followers. You'll know that Natalie Portman was in the parks like 3 weeks ago, and they
mm-hmm.
took Boo out of cryostasis to look as if Natalie Portman was at the premiere last night. So
Wow.
that's why she did a bit of press with Boo. But doesn't Boo give you like nightmares?
Yeah, I feel like they're going for cuteness, giving creepy
Like the
a
bouncing of
little
the
bit.
head and the face incessantly is nuts. But yeah, like we talked about it before, but Studios Theatre in Walt Disney Studios is going to house it. You just go through Studio 1 and take a left. And it's like world class little theatre. And what they've done with it, like it's a lot of screens, but they've also got a lot of characters, and they have a live band, and they have a lot of like interactivity between the characters and the screens. Like the screens incorporate the floors and everything. So like they've just David Duffy and team like should just run the whole park.
I'm
Wouldn't that be
stoked to know
incredible?
how much has been spent on it, just out of pure curiosity, because it looks like such a high budget production. I can't see it being a show that's going anywhere anytime soon because of that. I think it's going to be around for the long haul.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be up there with Mickey and the Magician, as far as like an anchor show.
Mm-hmm.
And it's lovely, isn't it? Lovely. We talked about this in the last pod as well, but isn't it lovely to have a bit of Pixar representation, like
Yeah.
top quality Pixar representation?
Did
And
you follow Jim
we got the new
Shull on
wall.
Twitter?
I did, yeah, yeah.
Do you see what Jim Shull had put on Twitter? He's one of my favorite follows. He's an ex-Imagineer. Um, and whilst sort of in the hype of everyone talking about how brilliant Together was and how amazing the premiere was, and he was like, maybe should have been in Worlds of Pixar.
Yeah, like
I was like, oh, kill the vibe.
oh man. So we might as well talk about the new Worlds of Pixar photo location backdrop slash thing. So down at what was it? It was called Toon. Is Toon Studios or Toon Town? What was it
Toon
called beforehand?
Studios to begin with, yeah, and then it
Basically, the
became
wall
Worlds of
where
Pixar.
yeah, the wall where Buzz and Woody and Jesse and sometimes Bo Peep used to meet there. They did it up and they've made it completely like modern Pixar. Well, I say modern, but everything's in the last 25 years kind of. They have a huge big balloon, Carl's balloon from Up,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks great. And yeah, I'm all for it. Like it's just a bit of nice lick of paint for that corner of the park if they're not going to do anything better with it. Um,
Have you seen anything elemental related in that photo spot? Because I remember when they first advertised that that was going to be happening, they made a point of saying that there was it was going to have like either an elemental element to the backdrop, or they were going to have the elemental characters out. But I have seen none of those since the press release, so I think that's
they
maybe
might like
been shelved.
the little wall that they have is full of little windows with all the characters, and they might
Mm.
have snuck a few of the elemental characters into the windows.
Oh,
That
well,
might be
that's
the
underwhelming.
extent. But Disneyland Paris love their magic shots, and they have an elemental magic shot at the moment.
Oh, do they?
Oh, they do, of course. But if anyone's seen the movie, I think is it out this weekend or
It's out already.
oh, is it? I thought there you
Mm-hmm.
go.
Came out last
So
weekend, or just like
did you
there
see it?
now, Friday? Not yet, no. I
No,
think it came out Friday.
I might see it this weekend. I'm not sure. Like,
A couple
don't
of
know
my
if I'm gonna
friends have seen
squeeze.
it and they've all really enjoyed it, so
Oh, cool.
that's positive. So
I'm frantically
we'll
looking
get
at
to
my
it.
phone here to see if I can see any elemental characters in the wall. But everything in my Twitter feed is all to do with the premiere last night. So getting no
Mm.
love. Did you see they had like a buffet on the Cars road trip road?
Yes.
Wasn't that
A couple of
hilarious?
my dream team friends were at it. Like two of my dream team friends got invited, and they said it was a fantastic night, and they got lots of wine, lots of really nice food. They were really treated well. It seemed like they'd really put an awful lot of effort into that press event. So it's a good sign that it's being hyped as hard as it's being hyped, because it shows they believe in it and they believe that it's going to be a good addition to that park, which it really needed. That studio
I,
has been going to waste for such a long time.
I saw somebody say recently that it was the best use of the Cars road trip road in a long time. Like to have a buffet. Oh God,
I don't
lordy, lordy,
disagree.
lordy.
I don't
Like
disagree.
I genuinely think that there's a place in my heart for Cars Road Trip. I just think it's a crying shame that it takes up like 50 acres of the park, where like it's clearly marked for expansion in the future. But the fact that it's just Catastrophe Canyon and the rest of it is just sitting in a bus resting your little legs.
I
Um,
know that's what it's good for. I guess it's the
it's
small
good.
world of the studios park.
All about
But
resting the legs. Yeah.
that's it. What's our next
Much
one?
bigger
Say them.
news is the return, the absolutely emphatic return of the travelators in guest parking. Like this, I got push notifications for this because we often stay in Davy Crockett's, and
Yeah,
it's such a trek. Like when you're
yeah.
bringing, we went in July and we had a big cooler bag and we have the kitchen sink with the kids, and to get everything on the back of the buggy, like just that little travelator would be nice to just give you a little push. And then the first day we got there last July, we left the nappies in the car and we were eating in
Oh no.
rainforest, and it was 40 degrees, and of course Daddy gets the short straw, and I had to go back to the car and back to rainforest in the 40 degrees with no water. It was like the Sahara Desert. And
Oh.
I could have used those travelators, and now they look absolutely sparkling. So that was just a bit of off topic breaking news there.
Do you know what
Big
though?
big
When
fan
I
of
was a
those.
kid, I used to stay in David Crockett with my family when we went when I was little. And my dad to this day always says that the magic starts on the travelator. And I was like, Dad, I hate to break it to you. Those travelators have been MIA for a long while.
Maybe it summed up the experience at Disneyland Paris, but now they're back. Now they're back, and baby, we're rolling.
They see
We
me
are rolling.
rolling.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Bastille Day coming up thick and fast.
Yeah.
Like again, Disneyland Paris have lit a torch under the hype train for this,
Yeah.
and I have no insider information, but I have a lot of faith in the drone team at Disneyland Paris, and it looks as if they have a wall-to-wall landscape done of Paris landmarks in the sky. Like when you're standing in front of like Casey's Corner or whatever,
Yeah.
you look over at like Agrabah all the way to the pink twin towers that used to be part of the castle down towards Fantasyland. And
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to have like just a vista of Paris landmarks. People can't see
Unreal.
I'm doing hand actions here. And yeah, I just can't wait because they were practicing them. If you follow anybody who's involved with drones on Instagram, they were out practicing the drones about a month ago in field, in field.
I saw the
Mm,
the field thing. Yeah.
it's usually in Bordeaux, and that's like, that's miles away from Paris. And they can do what they want without being spotted.
Yeah.
So, like I saw recently that the Dream Castle Hotel had a bit of a relaunch, and they had drones at their relaunch of their hotel. Like, so I mean, the guys who do Disney Delight and who did Avengers Powered Night, they
Mm-hmm.
probably saw a hotel doing a drone show, and they were just like, "We need to up this." So
Yeah.
I'm massively excited. I'm also hugely excited for the Boom Boom fireworks. People were asking like, "What the hell do you mean by Boom Boom fireworks?" Like Disneyland Paris
Loud ones.
doesn't have fireworks every night that shake your heart. Basically, I think it's obviously something to do with planet permission or just France in general.
I
Probably
think
used to
it's
do it
because there's people. Val d'Europe is too close as a
very close.
town.
Yeah.
Someone told me, and that they did used to have the boom boom fireworks every night, but people were complaining that it was like every single night, which
Yeah,
you would
yeah,
get annoyed. Like you really would if you were listening. If you were, especially if you've dogs, small kids, all that. There, it's a lot. I
yeah,
think the other parks like California and Florida get away with it because they're on their kind of own plot of land. They're not in a residential area, so they can just boom boom all they want. But
yeah. And even
um,
at that, like Florida is way more boom boom than California's boom boom.
oh
I
yeah,
feel because they obviously
California
own
only boom
half the
booms on the
state.
weekend. California boom booms on the weekend, and then during the week it's just
Is that
projections.
that sums up California, doesn't it? They go boom boom at the weekend, whereas Florida's boom boom all day, every day. So Disneyland
Serious
Paris
faces.
just gets the boom boom twice a year. That's because it's like it's 31 years old now. Probably have a few kids. You know, not much boom boom in Paris anymore.
No.
Um, so twice a year being New Year's Eve and Bastille Day. So obviously
Mhm.
everyone else in the town is doing their boom boom. So that's why Disneyland Paris can boom boom at the same time. If you
I
hear
can't take
boom,
us
if you're in
seriously
a, if
now.
you're in a hotel, yeah, if you're in a hotel and you hear someone boom booming, you might as well boom boom yourself because you're not gonna be able to sleep. Um,
Is this gonna stay in?
in what? This is it. Like this is one take. I'm not. This is one take. Right.
One take
Yeah.
wonder.
So I'm hugely excited. I'm of course heading over on Friday for Bastille Day. I call it Fruit
Hmm.
Bastille Day. Did you have Fruit Bastille Day pops and Fruit Bastille
Fruit.
sweets? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool. I don't know because different jurisdictions might
Mysterious
have different
North.
sweets. Yeah. You have like Walker's
Yeah,
crisps and stuff like.
we've got different Tato.
Um. Oh, stop. So yeah, hugely excited for Bastille Day. I just can't wait for these fireworks. Like I'm thinking, they're after Dreams. So Delight is 10 to 11, Dreams is 11, and that's 25 minutes. So like we're gonna go boom boom 11:30,
Half 11.
and yeah. But I think like I know people who don't do long queues. Disney Paris Andy, and
Yeah,
um,
that's exactly who I was thinking of when you said that.
she's talking about like camping out from 6 p.m. like to get a good see for these fireworks. So
Wow.
I might just slip
Solidarity.
in. I might just slip in a bit later than that. I do have like a dinner reservation for downtown on 7:30, but
You'll still
if
that'll be plenty of time for
if I get
drones,
the news that
especially.
it's packing up, like if it's getting packed, I'm gonna make my way in. I think that's my plan. Keep it flowy.
We'll have to do an episode once you're back.
Oh, big time! I'm gonna bring a little microphone, a little lapel microphone, and I'm gonna try and interview people coming out of the Together show. And I don't know how I'm gonna get English speaking people. Basically, if I see a GA jersey, I'm gonna
Do a
interview them.
call out on Insta.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I know, like
See if
I did.
anybody's in the
I did
parks.
do a call out to see if anyone's in the parks just generally,
Mm.
and like a lot of people are going to be there just by chance. I don't think people tend to avoid Bastille weekend because people are crazy to go, whereas I make an effort to go over on the busiest day of the year, just for the content and just to bring you guys the pulse of the people on the ground. And then I might do the same with the Bastille Day fireworks as well. See if I can get like English speaking people and just get their
Yeah.
impressions of the fireworks and stuff. Because yeah, all about the boom boom.
Well, thank you for your
Um,
service. Thank you for going over there and braving the Bastille
I'll
fireworks when many
I'll
people would
take
not.
that bullet. I'll take the bullet. Speaking of bullets,
Not all heroes wear capes, Stuart. Not all heroes wear capes.
I do at the weekend. Um,
Boom, boom.
boom boom. Buzz Lightyear. Boom boom. Buzz Lightyear is back July 12th. So Wednesday, Buzz Lightyear Laser Blast is back open. I know it's a family favorite, and like I'm just discovering in way over my 30th birthday how to actually score properly in this in this game. It's all to do with like the shapes, and I was just going boom boom everywhere,
I'm
and
still doing that.
yeah, and I'm sweating by the end of it, and I have like 10 points, and then the person beside me who's just like after hitting the little triangle or the basically the pointier the shape is, the more points you get. That's my thinking.
Ah,
So
okay.
people swan on there and get like full marks or whatever, like nine and nine. So yeah, I'm that's back Wednesday, so I might just jump on that. I love Buzz Lightyear Laser Blast. I do love it.
I like it.
It's a nice sit
Good one.
down, and often I've found that when it goes down during the day, because it's like what they call like an omni mover, it's always moving, kind of like Phantom Manor, that the
Mm-hmm.
belt is always moving. It tends to
Yep.
move through the queue quite quickly. Um,
Yep.
so, and as well as that, a point of that I'd like to make is that I witnessed the accessibleness on Buzz Lightyear, and I was like speechless because it actually touched me a little bit because they have special, I suppose you call them carts in Buzz Lightyear, that they can completely take the back of the cart down, and say a person in a wheelchair can go straight on in their wheelchair and then have the full experience of the ride in their own wheelchair and have full access to laser blasters as well. Like, so I think it's a great one.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Is that the same for Phantom Manor as well?
I do think so. Do you know the way you're on Phantom Manor and pretty much every time you're told that playful spirits have interrupted our tour.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Always
go
at the
down.
same place.
Yeah, it doesn't go down every minute. Like that's in general someone getting on and off who needs a bit more time. But like,
Yeah.
all good. Like everyone should be able to experience as much of the parks as possible. So I'm all for it.
All about it.
The Nautilus has returned.
Oh, I was losing sleep. I was thinking it wasn't going to reopen. I was like, I've been on the edge of my seat for about 3 years.
I'm not sure. Like I can see you right now. I'm not sure if you're sarcastic here or not.
No, Disneyland Paris is most boring attraction of all time. Like it was a better use of the space when they put the characters in there during COVID for selfie spots. Like, do you remember they put the characters in their Stars and Parade outfits into the Nautilus? I was like, that's the best use of space that they've ever had. I'm not a fan.
I'll see your Nautilus being the most boring waste of space, and I'll raise you with the Aladdin walkthrough.
Oh no, I like that.
Oh, do you? Well, like obviously
like
it has some cool bits, but in general,
I like the genie wall for Instapics.
yes, of course, you got to get the content.
That's it.
At Megan Loves Magic.
Yep.
And it has no squid now. They've kind of like made it more friendly. They just have, I think DLP report said they had some just like stock image of a big whale in the Oculus. So they've gotten rid of like the scary squidness. But I think it's good that part of Discoveryland has something going on.
I don't know if you'd call that something going on.
Well, you can walk through something.
Yeah.
Instead of like just being boards and stuff like that. Like even when Orbitron is not working, it just feels like as if that land is not alive. I don't know. Am I clutching at straws here?
No, I think they could do more with Discoveryland. I think they could have more characters in Discoveryland because there's only really the Videopolis meet and greet and the Darth Vader one. I feel like they could. Yeah. There's more room for aliveness through characters, but
I think in the last few weeks they have thrown out a few more stormtroopers in the last few weeks, so that's good. Like, but they need to decide whether Discoveryland is a Star Wars land or not, because
I think it will be now that they've scrapped it for the third land. I think they're just going to put all the Star Wars into Discoveryland now.
I just had a thought there, right as we're recording this live podcast. What if they made Autopia like the all my Star Wars mates are going to kill me now. What's the name of the ride-on bikes, the hover bikes? What are they called? You wouldn't know. I'd probably. Do you know when the Phantom Menace and things where they go like?
Oh, the Anakin on.
Yeah, and they go those things. They could like do Autopia like with electricness and make you feel like you're on those bikes.
Pitch it.
What? I'm going to pitch it now. Natasha is getting a text.
Natasha's getting a very lengthy text from us this evening.
She can just listen to the podcast and we fix her problems.
Too busy.
So I will have a look at the Nautilus just for the content, obviously. I wouldn't say fairly long queues. It had a bit of interest when it opened again last week.
Maybe people thought it was a ride and then were brutally disappointed.
I didn't see them doing any collectible cards, or I didn't see the DLP ambassadors at the opening, which
because they have better things to do.
Really,
brushing their hair,
getting ready for it together.
Yeah.
Summer sales. I know it's like what the hell, summer sales, but there are massive sales on like merch that people were spending a lot of money on only a few weeks ago, like lounge flies under €50.
Like 40% off lounge flies. Like that's Steamboat Willie ones.
I think I saw 70 off.
70? Oh my gosh.
Like, because I've seen, do you remember they did Big Thunder Mountain last year? It wasn't part of the eras this year. Did Disney company just like completely steal Taylor Swift's idea of eras? No? Like they had decades.
Maybe. Yeah, quite possibly.
Possibly. Well, they did a Big Thunder Mountain lounge fly last year, and in the Disney store in Dublin, it was like €28 at one stage.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't buy it. Why didn't I buy it? I should have bought it.
Yeah, it's a nice enough bag.
It is, but I've no room in my house or life in general for lounge flies. I just give them all
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
So
Don't get
I, d-
yourself
I,
into that.
I don't need them. No, like I don't need them in my life. And if I ever, like, I bring them in for giveaways and things like that. And then my daughter is like, can we keep this one? Like, no, it's €100. It's €100. So everyone who has won a lounge fly off me can know that you broke a little 6-year-old's heart by winning that gift.
I hope you
winning
sleep
that.
well tonight.
I hope you sleep well tonight. That wraps up the news, really. I did have a new segment that I wanted to kind of bring in. And as you know, we are social media content, being a podcast. We both have social media outlets at Megan Loves Magic and at Disneyland Paris Tips for Irish. And we spend a lot of our time watching other people's social media, whether it be YouTube and Instagram. So I wanted to do a little corner called the Social Shoutout. Da-da-da.
Yeehaw. Boom boom.
Yeehaw. So at Boom Boom, new name for the podcast, the Boom Boom Podcast. I'm currently obsessed by Chris Provost and his lovely family. Their account is called Provost Park Pass, and they have an ultra professional YouTube machine. They're currently doing, wait for this, they're currently doing a 6-castle world tour, which that's just the tip of the iceberg, really. So they live in Utah, I believe. Everyone seems to live in Utah, or what's that other place where Delta has it? Atlanta. Everyone lives in Utah or Atlanta in America. So their local park is California, and they went from California to Tokyo. Oh, sorry, start again, Stuart. They went from California to Hawaii, but they're only in Hawaii to do like a layover. They couldn't get into Aulani because it was full.
Oh no.
That's a shame, isn't it?
That is a shame.
But
oh,
rest your beating heart there, because they luckily went on towards Tokyo Disney. They've done a few days in Tokyo Disneyland, and their latest videos are all about Tokyo Disney Sea, and you know, all the merch, all the popcorn you can buy, all the Duffy family, all this. Like, they haven't teased. Well, they've kind of like put a few Easter eggs out as to where they're headed. Obviously, being a 6-castle tour, world tour, they tried to do this in 2020, but in 2020 we all know what happened, and they had to cut it very short. I think they were linking in with like cruises as well. Like, I don't know where they get the money for this, but fair play to them.
wow.
They're obviously working very hard. And see, Chris Provost was a businessman. Not like a businessman where he had his own business or whatever. He was like an office worker. And his thing is that he goes around in a shirt and tie, the parks.
Yeah.
And it's cool because I won't give him away now. He's probably nearly 50. And he has a little 6-year-old boy, and it's just cuteness all throughout the whole thing. So they are doing Tokyo at the moment, and obviously they have to do Shanghai and Hong Kong. But they're also checking in on parks in the area. So I think they're doing Universal Studios in Japan as well.
It looks insane. I don't think I could go all the way to Japan and not check out their Universal. It looks so good.
I think their Universal is so good, and that made Tokyo Disney Sea be so good.
Yeah,
because
main competitor.
People who like aren't aware of the Asian parks, really, like I'm not really either. I have no intention of going unless, you know, get struck by lightning and win the lotto at the same day. But Tokyo Disney Sea is as if someone just gave the Walt Disney Imagineers a blank checkbook and said, go loose.
Yeah.
It's a mix of Universal Studios and Disneyland. And kind of, I would say, a lot of Frontierland vibes. It's a lot of volcano going on, bit of Discoveryland with Jules Verne, steampunk stuff going on. But my God, the weather, it's always raining over there and windy, so windy.
But so it's windy. A beautiful park. The Little Mermaid section, have you seen that? The aerials, it's like, it's just stunning. Absolutely stunning. They have,
I won't call it, it's obviously the Beast's Castle. People call it Belle's Castle, but they have a full, like, okay, so Tokyo Disneyland, let's not get too sidetracked here. Tokyo Disneyland has a full-on replica of the Walt Disney World Castle, pretty much. They just kind of copy and pasted it. And then they decided, because it's half and half owned by Walt Disney Company and the Oriental Land Company, who obviously has a lot of money, they built the Beast's Castle. and it's
Unreal.
almost bigger. Like, it's definitely bigger than the Disneyland Resort Castle. It's
Oh yeah.
nearly as big as the Paris Castle, and it's just another castle in the park. Could you imagine if Paris had two castles?
But it's just
Like
why
that.
not? If you've got that kind of money lying about and you haven't paid it out to Burbank, like why wouldn't you?
There we go. Yeah. Sorry, just and like they have what's regarded as almost the world's best Disney ride, the Beauty and the Beast ride, in the castle. And then what else do they have? They have like a super cool Baymax ride. They have I'm missing a lot of stuff here because I'm just on the spot, but yeah, they've gone mental in Tokyo Disneyland. But fair play to them. And who knows, if this podcast goes global, goes viral, we might make it over there as one of our trips.
Oh my god, yeah, let's do it.
And then so the Provost, geez, we're spending a lot of time on this. Provost Park Pass are going to go then on into Europe, and I think they're going to check out like Efteling as well as Paris. They're going to check out Europa Park. I don't know if they're going to check out Fort Ventura. Maybe not. Maybe just to get the whole Universal Studios.
You should DM them and ask if they fancy meeting us at Tato Park.
Emerald Park.
Sorry.
You don't even get a bag of crisps anymore. I've
never even been.
Oh, stop. I'm going in August. So I will let you know.
Please do.
It's not a content trip, don't worry.
Oh, send me content.
Yeah, so, and then they're going to finish up then in Florida. So that's their Six Castle Park, and they're probably going to do, it's a great, Provost Park Pass, absolutely super account to follow. They're super positive. It's like a safe space. You're going to watch it and enjoy it, and you're going to, they're super fun and just great.
Amazing production.
Oh yeah, I don't know how to do it because they do the videos while they're going. So
yeah,
they do everything in the parks, and then at nighttime churn out world-class productions.
They don't sleep.
Know. Fair play to them. They're professionals. What can you say?
Yeah, very much.
Paging Mr. Morrow, I was drawn to him. He had a trip in April to Paris, and a couple of my followers met him, and I was like, who is he? So then I started watching his videos, and he's incredibly fun, incredibly wholesome. His name is Nate, and he's a Florida local.
Okay.
And he just pops into the parks in Florida, just like nothing else to do tonight, just pop in. I think it's his full-time job, the YouTube and business. But it's
I'm gonna check him
he's
out.
a different night. He's in a different character experience and just living my life. And he has this adorable Dalmatian of a dog called Gracie. But he went on a recent trip to talk to me. He went to New Orleans and he went to Marceline. Walt's hometown.
Walt's hometown. Yeah.
And Disney D23 brought them. And, he had Mickey and Minnie in Marceline.
Oh.
And Marceline is basically like a living museum at the moment. But recently, Nate, paging Mr. Morrow, he was in the Grand Floridian in Florida for a wedding. And I know a lot of people love to look behind the curtain of Disney weddings. And this was it. You get married in the wedding pavilion, which is on the Lake Buena Vista. I think their lake is called, is it? Maybe?
Yeah.
Probably. They keep changing
sounds
the
right.
lakes. Yeah,
sounds
we'll go with that. And Disney have just went to town on this pavilion thing because you get a golf cart out to the little pavilion, and picture this, okay? It's your wedding, everything is white. Picture this, Megan. Soon to be wed. I'm not spoiling this, right, for you. And in between, the two people getting married is the castle. There's a window behind the altar, and the castle is framed in that window. So when you say I do, the castle is right in between you. It's imagine, I know keep saying this, my favorite phrase, imagine if Paris had something similar. Paris could do it in Disneyland Hotel.
Yeah.
They could have a wedding room.
I mean, I would book it.
Natasha. This
where we've been really, really nice to you on this podcast.
Yes, Megan's soon to be wed, and she would love to be on an episode of Disney Weddings. And I just think give back to the community, Natasha.
I accept cash donations
and weddings. Our local favorite, Sam for God, is we're recording this Monday night. And she's after putting out I think, a video where she was in Emporium, I think, checking out all the bits. And I just love her videos because it's kind of like you're there with her. So she goes
Yeah.
through like every single bit of merchandise and is like, touching them and feeling them. And it's just no one else gives you that experience where, like, if she puts out an hour video, she spends an hour doing it, and it's basically as if you were there. It's
Yeah.
it's usually one take unless people interrupt her and like, kind of like, oh, can I get a picture? But
No one else does
I
the
look,
level of detail, I don't think, on
no,
YouTube anyway.
she's an absolute trooper, absolute trooper. Like, she goes back down to the hotel at nighttime and edits to get the videos out while she's there. So, like, we will tag Sam in this video, in this a couple of clips of this, because
Yeah, we should put everybody we're mentioning in the social shares and
yes,
stuff in the show notes, and people can subscribe to whoever they want to subscribe.
like, Sam does actually such a service for Disneyland Paris. Like, she deserves everything that she gets, because a lot of people will get, even her buffet videos and everything. Like, people tell me that I do like a 1 minute video of a buffet, where she's a 45-minute video of a buffet. And for people who have like picky eaters, sensory kids, etc., they need to see what's in every single bucket at the buffet. So, all good, fair play. Moving on to the next account is one that probably people haven't heard of. It's called the Main Street News. And the Main Street News is a lovely account who does like behind the scenes, kind of like, I wouldn't call them expose, but the guy in charge, sorry, the name completely escapes me at the moment, his name, but he goes behind and he does these kind of journalistic videos of what parks could have been like. So if you ever were interested, do you know the way Disneyland Paris have a book called The Art of Disneyland Paris?
I have that book, yeah. I've got that.
Of course you do. And that gives you the background into all the Imagineering stories of when the park was being built, and what could have been there, what was designed. Like, for instance, you probably know what was going in behind Bellinotte originally. It was meant to be like a
Beauty and the Beast.
Yes. And there's an awful lot of room around Indiana Jones, for example, and I think that was meant to be something else. So all these little stories, like, nothing happens by accident in these parks.
No.
And the Main Street News goes behind and makes lovely, lovely little videos, probably like 10, 15 minutes. And I think it was like a 30-minute video, his biggest video ever, where he discussed the third gate at Disneyland Paris. Mm-hmm. And, could it have been a water park? He has visuals of the Walt Disney Studios glow up that's going to be happening, not just the expansion. So the whole street getting done up. Mm-hmm. And yeah, again, just an absolute service to the community. And if people want to check that out, it's at the Main Street News on YouTube or Instagram.
I'm going to subscribe to them right now.
Boom, boom.
Boom, boom.
And that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Kept it under an hour. That's not like us.
That's unlike us now. We'll see how the outro might take about an hour. I am off to Paris on Friday for Fruit Bastille Day. And I will talk to you next week. You are going on a non-Disney related holiday.
Yeah. I'm going to a wedding in Lanzarote.
Okay.
And we've added a couple of extra days just to, chill and make it into a holiday. Why not?
I'm sure you'll find some content that you can find. Did you know?
I'll be vlogging. I'll be vlogging on TikTok.
And those, I think, lots of Spanish shops and things. I know it's not mainland Spain, but a lot of Spanish like sweet shops do like Minnie Mouse ears in the little sweet bags. So have a look in those little tacky sweet shops that you found on like promenades and stuff in those kind of Spanish resorts for your content. There you go.
My jaw just hit the floor. I'll be looking for them especially.
Yeah, well, I hope you have a great trip, and I will
you too.
Be talking to you next week. Maybe next week, if not, end of next week, maybe the weekend after. We'll see. We'll bring it. We'll bring in the good stuff, guys. We'll bring in the good stuff.
Yeah, whenever I'm back and you're back, we'll record episode 5, and we can talk all about your Bastille Day trip.
Episode 5. This is a thing now, isn't it? This is a thing. We have. Oh, by the way, people, you've gotten this far. You've got 55 minutes into the show, and we have actual real microphones now, people. So this has been an absolute joy. It's taken 55 minutes to record 55 minutes worth of a podcast. Unlike the last month where we've been taking 2 hours to record a minute, an hour. because we had interference issues and we edited them out, but it got very frustrating. And this has been an absolute joy to have 55 minutes of unbroken chat.
It's been a one take wonder.
Boom, boom.
Boom, boom.
So that is a wrap on episode 4 of Irish Ears, a Disney Fancast. You can keep up to speed with us both, Stuart on Disneyland Paris Tips for Irish and Megan on Megan Loves Magic socials. Please send us your feedback on anything you'd like discussed on the podcast. We have lots of ideas which we hope to get through in the coming months.
But for now, we'll say a bientôt, boom boom, see you soon.
Boom boom, see you soon.